What is a heel turn? What makes a heel turn great? We have um, we have been privy to a lot of heel turns in the past and of recent time. Even some of the most iconic heel turns that we all know of, we love, and you can't really quantify them. You don't want to say one is over the other, one is better than this, because they all gave you pivotal moments, different feelings, different emotions, a different feel, a different grit to what was happening, to that situation at hand. Um, Probably one of the most iconic, and I really don't even want to say this one, but probably one of the most iconic ones is Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Shawn Michaels turned on Marty Jannetty, super kick, threw him through the barbershop glass, left him. Shawn Michaels wasn't necessarily jealous of Marty. He just thought that Marty was dead weight. Marty was holding him back. He needed to leave Marty and be his own person and be the showstopper. So he kicked him, threw him through the glass. I don't like Marty Jannetty because Marty Jannetty is holding me back. I don't like Marty Jannetty because Marty Jannetty is not on the same level as me. So I need to get rid of this dead weight. I need to super kick him out of my partnership, out of my career. Most recently, we've actually had Paul Heyman turn on Roman Reigns after he's been the tribal chief, after he's been the right hand man to Roman Reigns. He was there with him for 3+ years, molding and cultivating Roman Reigns to be this. Um, all of a sudden, it's a low blow. He low blow Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns wasn't there for him when Solo Sikoa in the new bloodline, the MFTs, put him through a table. He wasn't there. He didn't come back to avenge Paul Heyman. He didn't come back to avenge what was done to him, the atrocity that was done. Um, he came back looking for the belt. So Heyman turned on Roman because Roman in turn turned on Heyman when he didn't come back to avenge him after he'd done so much for Paul Heyman. That heel turn, quote unquote heel turn, because they were faces. Roman was the big dog. No, Roman was the tribal chief. He was the big dog on quote unquote big dog. But you know what I mean. Roman Reigns was the one. He was the face. He ran everything. He was the good guy. You couldn't do any wrong to Roman Reigns. So when Paul Heyman low blowed him, Paul Heyman became the heel. That's why people didn't like him anymore. That's why they turned on him. So with the wise man turning on the tribal chief, we got a whole new dynamic of Paul Heyman. He even technically turned on his best friend CM Punk. That's another quote unquote heel turn. We have the infamous double turn with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart, which is my one of my favorite. That's my favorite wrestler, Bret Hart. But that's one of my favorite moments because it was a heel turn because Bret didn't turn heel because he he was mad, like jealous. He Austin didn't tap, so he held him there, and he was frustrated because they were booing him. He wasn't necessarily mad at I guess Austin, but he turned because the fans kind of turned on him, and that vicariously happened to be against Austin. Austin was berating Bret Hart the whole time. He was mad at Austin. Yes, yes, of course. So that was like the heel turn, but his heel turn was out of frustration for being shunned and being talked about by Austin to a degree, and the fans going along with it. So that in turn made him bitter, made him become a heel towards the Austin character, towards the establishment. Not really the best of heels, but Bret Hart was still a heel. Then we come to the turn of Hogan becoming the leader of the NWO. The heel turn that broke a lot of people. It changed everything. It changed the landscape of wrestling forever. Not just that moment, but forever. But when he turned heel, it was because it was a cool thing to do. He was going against the establishment. Him and his friends were going against the WWF at the time. They were against that wrestling organization. So they were banding together to become outsiders in a new place to start something else. So that heel turn was because it was a cool thing to do, and again, against the establishment, against what was happening right now. We get to John Cena's heel turn. This is the only heel turn of its kind. It is the best heel turn we will ever see. John Cena didn't turn heel on Cody. He didn't turn heel because The Rock. John Cena turned heel on us. Let that sink in for a minute. Every other heel was a heel against another wrestler, a heel against the establishment within the wrestling confines, a heel towards an individual who swayed the fans against said new heel. This heel that John Cena became was nothing to do with that. This heel came from pure fan beratement of his character as the performer and as the man. He was a heel because we couldn't make up our minds on choosing who to cheer for. He was a heel that didn't give us new NWO music. He didn't come out with a new attitude. He didn't come out with ice like new gear. He came out and still did his thing, but he told us about ourselves. He still had his music. He still had his wardrobe. He still did the same moves because we don't deserve anything. As a heel, like when Hogan turned heel, he gave us new merch. He gave us new music. He gave us new swag. He came out strumming a guitar that was an air guitar. Then when he got the belt, it was the belt when he did that stuff. When Paul Heyman became quote-unquote a heel, he started walking more pompously. He started calling himself the Oracle, changed his whole name, got a whole new crew, the Vision, started doing all types of stuff. Shawn Michaels, I'm a sexy boy. He came out, new chaps, assless chaps, and everything changed. Cena stayed the same because Cena was Cena. This heel turn is not just a heel turn to be like, this guy was a bad girl. He was doing things. He was cheating to win. No. This heel turn was, I'm fed up with the fans. I've given you guys everything for 25 years. And you still said Cena sucks. I've given you new moves, Hurricanranas, new different moves, the STFU. I was doing things that others weren't doing. I'm giving you Sister Abigail's. I'm giving you all types of stuff. Super F5s off the top rope, FUs off the top rope. Cena has done everything. He's given us innovation. He's given us theatrics. He's given us ruthless aggression. So when he turned heel on us. There's been no other heel to do that. This is the greatest heel turn ever. And we are not going to realize that until, well, I do, but a lot of people won't realize that until later, until years down the line when you go back and look at it like, wait a minute. I directly, me as the fan, I was directly the assault of promos. I was the butt of the joke. He attacked the fan and made that little boy cry because he was a fan of Cena and he didn't want that because he knew that that little boy was going to turn up to become one of the adults that was cheering for Cena and saying Cena sucks in the same breath. That's crazy. So this heel turn, again, it needs to be restudied, reevaluated because it is definitely the heel turn, the best heel turn that we're going to see since Hogan NWO. There's nothing else is going to top that. Nothing.